So, what you're seeing right there is an example of my exhaustion getting to me because oh my gosh, it's only Tuesday night. And I've been working really, really hard since Thursday trying to launch this channel and get videos out and information out. And I also have a side business and trying to work on that for a shop that I own. And I'm just exhausted because I also work full time. I have my family life, my home life, and I gotta get some rest because I put a lot of pressure on myself. So, this whole thing with like the social media drama, which, people say that I play into it or that I start it. So, people want me to look at my own behaviors. I'll look at them. But, there's a sense of having to defend yourself when you get constantly attacked. And when you put yourself out there, that's just part of it. When somebody runs for the board or, puts themselves in a position of like local government or something or leadership, they're going to be analyzed. And, the higher profile that you get, the more that people will criticize you. And we see this on social media. People are just absolutely horribly cruel. And that's why I said in my description in my bio that I'm trying to be human in an inhuman world, but what I really mean is an increasingly inhuman world, because we have gotten so out of touch with who we are as a people, as human beings, but more locally as a society, as Americans, this life is very different than how it was when our parents were growing up in their generation. The neighbors knocked on each other's doors and brought food and gifts over and shared and helped. And life is just not like this anymore. People are isolated and people are attached to their technology. And it really concerns me. And so, as much as, the anonymous posting is one thing, it creates drama in the groups and it takes away, like I said in my other video, it takes away and detracts from the message and the information and the seriousness of what's going on. And they're doing it purposely. But I don't want to really feed into that. I don't want to give that any energy or any oxygen because I just think it's immature play school stuff, like I said. But then there's just a part of you, like, which is a natural response where you do feel like you want to defend yourself because, they say I'm a narcissist and that I'm attention seeking. But these are also the types of things that people say to try to shut you down, and I think that this is too important to not be shut down. I don't like when people intimidate and harass and try to oppress and suppress people and censor people. Those are all the things that I stand up against. So I did want to just explain a little bit about me because I am putting in here on the description and whatnot, the disclaimer. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a licensed clinician, but I do have, a lot of knowledge and experience, and I've worked really hard my entire life, and people don't understand how hard I have worked my entire life to achieve everything that I have ever achieved. And frankly, I think that some people are just extremely threatened by someone who is smart and secure and successful. And I do feel like this is something that I'm called to do. So from a very early age, I've had a family who has dedicated themselves to community service and to be in service to others in some way, shape, or form. And I've been a civil servant for 22 years because I want to help people. I've always been curious about human behavior. I was a hardworking student. I had to claw my way to be the best that I could be because that's what motivated me. I was never interested in alcohol or drugs, really. Not saying that I hadn't tried things because that's what you do when, you're a kid, but I don't have any addiction issues other than maybe going thrifting and estate sailing too much. But I don't have many vices except for being on social media too much and giving my opinion unsolicited too much. So, um, I had to work really hard, but I busted my butt when I was in school. And, I came from a very small class of like 200 people, but I graduated in the top 10% of my class. So I worked my butt off. I was number 16. So I graduated 16th in my graduating class. I went to Binghamton University and I graduated um, and studied psychology because I was always interested in human behavior and motivation. And then, like I said, I dedicated myself to a career to help others in civil service and have worked in child welfare and with foster children and was an investigator in abuse and neglect situations and testified in court many, 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 too many times that I want to think about, and had to do a lot of really, really hard things and have really, really hard conversations with people about serious matters like being able to parent their children. And I've had to be put in a lot of tough situations, so it has kind of made me, strong. And I also, while I was working full time, went to Fordham University and got my master's degree in social work. And so I do have an MSW, and I just did not ever want to be a therapist. So I didn't get my licensing to be a clinician because I just don't want to. um, but I have worked so hard for everything that I've achieved in my life. And so these people are just playing games and they just want to throw out labels and say she's a attention seeker, she's a narcissist. You know, that's just that's just silly stuff that doesn't really do anything to me because I'm strong from the inside. But I don't want it to make you think that, because that's the distraction from the serious issues. So take it for what it is. I put myself out here because I care. I think that I just got cut off, but I don't know because it just said my power was going to shut down. So that's my message for tonight. Thank you.